Drafting with Numot is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com and GatheringMagic.com. Explore the game. Hello friends, the moment we all have been waiting for is finally here. Oath of the Gatewatch is now available to draft online. I've already jammed quite a few sealeds and a few drafts now at this point, but, well, hopefully you guys will enjoy everything that is about to happen, because this format is fresh, it's new, it's exciting. So, I think I'm going to jump in a Swiss queue here first, just so that we can play full 3 rounds no matter what. But, hopefully we get a sweet look at the new cards. Remember, it's going to be 2 Oath of the Gatewatch and 1 Battle for Zendikar. So, you're still going to see some cards from the previous set, but you get 2 packs of the new stuff. I'll bring it back when the draft fires. Alrighty, here we are for the very first Drafting with Numot, Oath of the Gatewatch. Alright, let's move these cards over so you can see them a little bit better. So in talking with a lot of people, they say that the Black-White Allies deck is basically the best deck in the format, should it be open. Now, Ailey is not an ally, but as a 2-mana, 2/3 Death Touch with relevant, or, decent abilities, she's a very good pickup. Problem being is that there's a Cliffhaven Knight, or rather Cliffhaven Vampire here, which is also just a great ally in general. In fact, it's probably better than Ailey, just because its ability is more relevant. It's 2/4 flyer, yada yada. I'm not going to go over all of the cards too quick or for too long here, since we only have 15 more seconds. But other cards I like: Boulder Salvo, Scion Summoner, Mauve Kozilek, Vampire Envoy is great for the ally deck. Shoulder to shoulder. So here I think I'm going to take either the Ailey or the Cliffhaven Vampire, and I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Vampire here. I think it's a little bit better, and even though it sends a weird signal, I just think it's better in draft than Ailey is. Now, so the rare's missing from this pack, but we got past some of the best uncommons. Reflector Mage. This card is making waves in constructed formats, not just limited. This card is just very, very good. It's a mana war, but they cannot recast the creature their following turn. So this card can do some major work. Just very solid. Seed Guardian, the other great uncommon. 3/4 reach for 4 is already perfectly good in green. And the fact that you get an additional creature if it dies is just huge. Remember, it counts itself when it dies, so at minimum you get a 1/1. And if you have any number of other creatures in your graveyard, it's just going to, get bigger and bigger, better and better. There's a Kor Sky Climber in the pack, 3/1 first striking when it's attack for 3. That's also an ally. It's pretty good. Goblin Freerunner is pretty solid as a nice Surge card. Surge is a new mechanic in this format. Sweep Away, some other cards. Again, not too much time here. I'm going to go ahead and take the Reflector Mage. I think it's the most powerful card in the pack. Okay, and what do we have here? A few nice cards. Birthing Hulk is quite solid. 5/4 for 7. Not great stats on its own, but you get 2 1/1 Eldrazi Scion tokens, and it also can regenerate itself, so that's quite good. Warping Oil is fine. Not amazing. I'm not going to take it very early, and it forces you to have some colorless sources. Other cards we have in the pack: Blinding Drone, another Goblin Freerunner. You have to pay attention to these colorless cards, or rather colorless lands, because if you do draft too many colorless cards and you don't get enough ways to produce colorless mana, yeah, you are in a slightly awkward position. Have some more allies here. The Kor Sky Climber, I like this one a lot. It's an ally, it's a 3/2, can gain flying for 2. It does a ton of work. Makindi Aeronaut is also okay. It's a 1/3 flyer for 2, but that's also an ally, so just for a cheap ally, it's pretty solid. Here, I think it's either going to be the Blinding Drone or the Kor Sky Climber, and I'm going to lean toward the Kor Sky Climber, because it's already in both of the colors of the other 2 cards that I've taken, and it's an ally. Now here in this pack, I do like Harvester Troll quite a bit. It's a 4/5 for 4. Got a Flame Seeker as an ally. There's a Kozilek's Translator, which is just solid. 3/5 for 5 is perfectly good, and then you can pay 1 life and add a colors to your mana pool. Lagac is quite good. Lantern is okay. Sweep Away. Umara Entangler is an ally, although I don't think it's a very good one. There's also an Unknown Shores here. I think I'm just going to take the Unknown Shores, actually. It's a nice colorless source, and it helps fix. And since I already have 3 different colors I think it's going to be a decent pickup here. Harvester Troll, Flameseeker, Translator, Lagac. Some other fine cards again, but the shorts is almost always a playable. Ooh, this pack is really good. Draga Auxiliary, 3 mana, 2/3 ally. Can just win the game on its own late game. You pay 6, you get to support 2. Support is another kind of new mechanic. You get to put a 1/1 counter on each of up to X target creatures, where X is the support. So since this is support 2, you can put 2 1/1 counters on 2 different creatures. Now, support is always another creature, so you can't put it on itself, and you cannot put all of the counters on one creature. I'm looking at Spatial Contortion here. I'm looking at another Sky Climber. There's a Scion Summoner going. 5th pick is about accurate as to where it should go. After taking Unknown Shores, I really want to take the Spatial Contortion, but again, the colorless sources, it is a little bit awkward. I think I'm going to end up taking another Kor Sky Climber here and just playing it safe with the white. Okay, well, that is a late Seed Guardian. That's 6th pick now. Had I taken the Draga Auxiliary, I think Seed Guardian would be a pretty easy pickup here, but we could just take a Dwar Isle Avenger. It is looking kind of like I could be blue-white flyers, and Dwar Isle Avenger is definitely quite solid. The fact that I've passed 2 Seed Guardians at this point means I'm going to want to take some ways to deal with big fat reach creatures, though. Okay, Hedron Crawler versus... Ooh, there's a Vampire Envoy here. Okay, so that's a really light Vampire. This card is overperformed almost every single time, just as a 1/4 flyer ally, and then you can gain some life with some tap synergies. I could also consider like Gravity Negator for the blue-white flyers list, which might actually be a little bit better of an idea here. There's also a Hedron Crawler, which is fine. It's really close. Like, I have a good allied start here, but I also have a good blue-white flyer start. I think I might actually just go with the Gravity Negator. It's close, though. I think the Vampire Envoy is a really strong consideration. Wow, that is a super late Nissa's Judgment. So unlike previous green cards similar to this, this is not fight. You just put a 1/1 counter on 2 creatures that you control, and then they deal their damage, right? So you don't really get blown out by the fact that if they remove your creature or whatever, you're not going to lose another one to the quote-unquote fight. That's also a pretty late Tajuru Pathward, and 5/4 Vigilance Trample for 5 is great. I'm going to take the Judgment here and see what happens. Okay, definitely looks like green is a little bit open. We're seeing the Scion Summoner on the wheel. Could take a Holdout Settlement. I think I'm on it. Might want to start taking the green cards, though. I know it's super awkward since I passed the 2 Seed Guardians, but if it's this open, then we could get potentially rewarded. And we wield the Seed Guardian, which is insane. So it looks like green is just extremely opulent, and I'm probably going to want to moving into that now. Canopy Gorger I'm not too much a fan of, and again, Warping Oil is not amazing. We'll happily take another colorless source, though, just in case. This is turning out to be a little bit weird. Very good green start. Rather, green is super open. And we do have actually a few pieces of fixing now. Holdout Settlement produces colorless and whatnot. Wow, Harvester Troll in the wheel? Okay. So we're definitely looking to be green. In which case I probably don't want to run the Cliffhaven Vampire. We actually haven't seen too many black cards besides the Vampire Envoy anyways. I could just be straight up Bant, 3-color. That being said, I could also be green-white. Green-white support is also definitely a good deck. Elemental Uprising is a card that a lot of people have mixed feelings about. I think it's actually quite solid for the green deck. It's a removal spell, or it can be a 4/4 hasty creature in a pinch. So we read the signals, I moved into green, and we actually got quite rewarded. Wheeling the Seed Guardian, the Harvester Troll, and whatnot. This pack, ooh, not too good for me. There is a Captain's Clause, which is quite silly. If I'm going green-white, I'm not going to have too many of the ally synergies with this, but I still think it's worth taking. It's super annoying, and it combos with some other cards. Other good cards in this pack, Devour in Flames. 5 damage to a creature or planeswalker, you bounce a land. There's that vampire we were talking about again. Another negator. Kor Sky Climber. Cinder Hellion's even pretty solid. I've never actually had the chance to play with this card. I've played against it, and it was definitely solid. So I'm going to go ahead and take this. See what happens. Again, right now we're still very, very open. Green X, green anything. Probably want to end up cutting this card if I can. Path Warden, I think, is just so much better than Canopy Gorger. Ooh, a Gladehart Cavalry. That's quite good. There's also, wow, this pack has some very powerful uncommons in it too. So Essence Depleter might just be the best uncommon in the set, honestly. This card has just done so much work for me. 3 mana, 2/3, already fine, just as, you know, a, what do they call 2 mana, 2/3s? Riot Devils or something. But the ability, pay 1 colorless and 1 generic mana. Target opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. You don't even have to tap it. So, depending on how many colorless sources you can you can just continuously drain the opponent. And this card is just a great finisher. There's also an Immolating Glare, 1 white, 1 colorless, destroy target attacking creature. Doesn't get much better than that. Boulder Salvo, pretty solid. Searing Light's fine. I wouldn't want to run too many or take it this early, but in a pinch you'll play it. Chain Mage is good as well. But happy to take the Cavalry. If you didn't read it, it is a 7 mana 6/6. When it enters the battlefield, support 6. So remember, you can only put a 1/1 counter on, or you can only put up to a 1/1 counter on a creature. You can't put multiples on the same one. So no stacking and making one creature huge. But if you're able just to pump up any other number of creatures, you're getting extreme value. It's already a 6/6 by itself, and then whenever a creature you control with 1/1 counter on it dies, you gain 2 life. So extra value. Pretty easy Reef Captain here. Here's another great support card. 4 mana for a 3/2 when it enters the battlefield, support 3. So if you're able just to curve out, or even if you're just able to play like, you know, a 3-drop beforehand, just to pump it up 1, that's still very, very good value. I might start looking to cut the blue cards here and just go straight up green-white support. As I was mentioning earlier, we wheeled the Scion Summoner last time, so that would be really solid because imagine that, Scion Summoner into Reef Captain. You get to support onto your Scion and the Eldrazi as well. Okay, some decent picks here. There is a Baloth Pup, 3/1 for 2, and it gets trample as long as it has a 1/1 counter on it. I do have multiple ways to already put 1/1 counters, the Reef Captain, the Judgment, and the Cavalry. There's also another Sky Climber. I don't think I'm going to take that. Probably want to take a 2-drop here, whether it be Baloth Pup or Makindi Aeronaut. And I think it's going to be the Aeronaut here. This gets some ally synergies later on, should I pick some up. And, you know, with all of this support, making this a 2/4 flyer for 2 mana is just insane. But definitely taking a 2-drop, especially after taking the Reef Captain. Okay, what is this pick? Pick 5, pack 2. So there's a Hedron Crawler, a Searing Light, and a Stalking Drone. I'm going to take the Stalking Drone here. This card is very solid. It's effectively a 2-mana 3/4, right? You do have to pay a colorless, so it's a little bit awkward, but I already have 2 colorless sources. And we want to take low drops for all of our support. I'm only missing out on like a Hedron Archive, or rather a Hedron Crawler and a Searing Light, so happy to take the drone here. Ooh, now we have some questions. Do I want to take the Expedition Raptor, the Tajuru Warcaller, or the Saddleback Lagac? All quite solid for the deck. I don't think I need the ally synergy, or rather, I don't need this ally. It's good in the ally deck, but I'm not building the ally deck per se. I think I want to take one of these support creatures. I think they're both very solid. I'm going to lean towards the flyer here over the Lagac, but I would not fault you for taking either. This does come down a turn sooner, so you're able to kind of get a little bit more aggressive. Maybe the Lagac's a better pickup here. Keep my curve low, but I think I'll go with the flyer. Embodiment of Insight is a great pickup. This is a 5-mana 4/4 Vigilance. Land creatures you control have Vigilance, and then whenever a land enters the battlefield in your control, you may have a land you control become a 3/3 with haste until end of turn. So it's going to have Vigilance if the embodiment stays in the battlefield. It's just a great win con by itself. Passing another Crawler, but not a big deal. Ooh, another Harvester Troll. I think this time we're going to go with the Lagac. I want to, again, lower my curve. I'm probably going to end up cutting this Canopy Gorger since it's filler. And we're going to look for more 2 and 3 drops now. Alright, well that is technically a 3-drop. It's not a great one. But kind of like the Makindi Aeronaut, if you're able just to support onto it, which I assume we're going to be able to since we have like 5 support cards, it does do some work. I guess I'll take another, but I'm probably not going to play another. It might actually be better to take Pathfinder here. Ooh, shoulder-to-shoulder wheeling is a great sign for us too. Really like this card. Again, another card that's overperformed, just like the Vampire Envoy. Support 2, draw a card. And with a curve like mine, which is looking pretty low, you get some good value. So I don't have much removal. In fact, I don't think I have any removal, but... oh, that's not true. I do have Nissa's Judgment. But our creatures are all very powerful and just can get big. Very happy to get the lead by example here, too. It's another great support card in this deck. It's instant speed. So a lot of people don't play around it, and yeah, that's basically removal in this deck. I think we're in a really good spot. Wow, and a Vines of the Recluse. So in Oath of the Gatewatch, Oath of the Gatewatch, there are Netcaster Spiders, which are 2/3s with reach, and then whenever they block a creature with flying, they get +2/+0 until end of turn. We didn't get any of those. So picking up the Vines there was excellent. That's pretty gross. We opened one of the best black rares in the format. Wow, if I had gone black-white allies, I could have gotten under Drana here. There's also a Tajuru Warcaller, Core Blade Whirl, Kozilek's Channeler, Makindi Patrol. Oy. Opening Nissa here is really gross. And truth be told, I should just take the Warcaller, but I kind of want to hate on the Drana. Because I don't know if I can beat that card, you know? Oh, that is so sick. If I was feeling super greedy and frisky, I could try to take Drana and force black. I already have a few other playable black cards in the sideboard. Because I think Drana is... Well, Drana's better than all of my white? I could go green-black, maybe. No, we'll play it safe. I'll take the Warcaller here. I'm going to just be very, very sad. Okay, I think Encircling Fissure actually got a lot better. This is just a huge blowout. And it's a great removal card and trick. Good pack, though, man. We're passing a Bloodbond Vampire for the for the white-black ally deck. Vile Aggregate, Complete Disregard. Ruin Processor, yada yada yada. Happy to take the Encircling Fissure here, though. I mean, our deck is great, so I'm not complaining, but we could have also had a very good black-white deck. Or a green-black. Alright, next pack for us. Has some decent pickups. Pilgrim's Eye, or I guess I'm not black. Pilgrim's Eye, Courier Griffin, Tandem Tactics, Smite the Monstrous. The nice thing about these colorless lands, in this format now, they produce colorless, so you can just take these as wastes, effectively, and then sometimes get extra value with their extra ability. So it's just something to think about. I think here Courier Griffin's a better pickup. I'm not really too interested in splashing anything. I could take Pilgrim's Eye and splash like the Reflector Mage, but that's not even that impressive. Splashing Cliffhaven Vampire is also not very good. Like, they're standalone good cards, but they don't have any synergy. So I think I'm just going to take the Griffin here. Be happy with a flyer. Considering I do need removal, I might take Unnatural Aggression, even though it is pretty poor as far as removal goes. I'm not really in search of a Baloth or a Marasa Ranger. We already have a ton of great creatures, and I think removal is a little bit more important, even if it's not very good removal. Okay, nice pack. Wow, really solid pack. Clutch of Current still here. Stone Fury. For us, I think I might just take the Blighted Steppe. I mean, Unified Front is fine, I guess. I have Holdout Settlement and Unknown Shores to potentially cast it for more, but I don't, again, we don't have the ally synergy, so it's not necessary. I think I'd rather just take the colorless land here that also gets life gain value. Not too interested in Giant Mantis. Okay, another good pack. Oran-Rief Invoker versus Shadow Glider. 1, 2. I only have 2 2-drops right now, and we already have, what, 5 or so 3-drops? So I'm going to go with the Oran-Rief Invoker here, even though I think Shadow Glider might be slightly better. I just want to be able to curve out with all the support. Huh? Okay, we'll take another one. Seems fine. I can now cut a few of the cards that aren't too impressive. Things like Alpha Protector. Oh wow, that's a super late Blademaster. Happily take that in this deck. Nice pickup. Makindi Patrol, alright. This is great for the ally decks, but we're not the ally deck. In fact, it might even be better to take Earthen Arms here. No, I'll take the Makindi Patrol. Basically, just sideboard stuff right now. We're looking to cut some cards. So I think Makindi Patrol's a cut. Let's see, probably want to cut Elemental Uprising now. It's not necessary. I do like the card in general, though, but I don't think it's necessary. I kind of want to cut one of my top-end cards, but all of them are so good that I can't be correct to. I guess I could cut Stalking Drone. If I cut Stalking Drone, then I don't need to run any of these colorless sources, except for maybe like Blighted Steppe for value, and just run 8/8. That seems good. Curve is a little bit high, though. Having 4 5s and a 6 and a 7 sort of make me want to run 18 lands. But I think we can definitely just get away with 17 here. So we have 3 2-drops, 2, 3 3-drops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 4-drops. Bridge isn't bad. Curve's a little bit higher for the green-white deck, but I think this is quite solid. I can probably, maybe I can run the Stalking Drone and just end up cutting the Harvester Troll. Again, I think this card is actually pretty solid, but all of our other cards feel like they synergize better. Maybe the Courier Griffin doesn't synergize better, but I think it's just a better card. And again, with as much support as I have, I just want to have a low curve. Or rather, a lower curve. We'll see. If the opponent is running blue and they have like those containment membranes, I'll definitely bring in the Troll, just as a good way to sack. But I think this deck is great. Definitely feel like it can 3-0. Very worst case scenario, we 2-1. Would not expect this deck to go 1-2 or worse. But who knows? The format's new. I am, again, playing a Swiss event here so that we get the full 3 rounds of value. And that was pick 45, so I think we're just going to run it like this. Probably put in the Sandstone Bridge, the Blighted Steppe, and maybe the Unknown Shores as our 3 non-basic lands. That gives us 2 sources of colorless for the Stalking Drone. Alright, so Unknown Shores. I'm only going to run one of the bridge, since we want to curve. A land. 14 more lands to go. 8-7 they suggest. That seems fine to me. We have more early green than white. Kind of. Yeah, 3 2-drop green cards. Or not like this. And again, the Unknown Shores can help fix our mana. We'll have to see how this works, but I think I'll ship it like this. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back for our very first matches with Oath the Gatewatch. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for watching Drafting with Numot. If you haven't already subscribed to Gathering Magic, you can do so to receive news of upcoming videos and discover new content. You can also check out our playlist that contains every episode of Drafting with Numot. And don't forget, you can easily watch the next video by clicking on the annotation on screen or a direct link in the video's description box. And as always, thanks for watching.